Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
You haven't found it?
No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Hey! Come here!
Run for that house!
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
Hello everyone, this is a commentated walkthrough of Resident Evil 1. This is the original US version of the game, and I'm playing as Jill.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room.
So the goal of this walkthrough is to kill every enemy in the game, collect every file,
What? What is this?
and also unlock every unlockable.
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
All the while, I'm going to try to not interrupt the in-game dialogue as much as possible. But anyways, we'll start by picking up the emblem. as it is necessary for a later puzzle. The first zombie here, you could just step back a couple of steps, make sure you shoot him twice, 4 times-ish. The zombie mechanics are a little weird. Yes, Jill, that is a picture of the mansion. And we're going to pick up 2 clips from Kenneth's dead body. So I'll describe as much as I can about the zombie mechanics. But later, first cutscenes.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
My other goal in this game is to show that there is, in fact, more than enough ammo to kill every single enemy in the game. So I do not use the knife. Not once.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
You can fast forward this cutscene by going through the archway in the back of the main hall. And then backing off.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
We're also taking an alternate event route. The event route that most people are familiar with is the one where Barry rescues you from the Jill Sandwich shotgun trap, and also he gives you acid rounds in the main hall. Instead, we will be getting the shotgun way, way later, the legit way. I'd always wanted to do a run where I got that cutscene. Lol. But anyway. What we're going to do now is we're going to go straight to the terrace. You have to go through those double doors on the east side of the main hall, then go upstairs toward Forest in order to trigger this cutscene.
Jill! Don't scare me.
That's what I was going to say. Aren't you supposed to be going over the first floor, Barry?
Yeah, you're right. But just take a look at this. It's Forest. Oh my God.
It's awful.
I'm going to find out what caused Forrest's death. It looks like he was killed by a crow or something. Can you look around the first floor, Jill?
Okay.
Hey, Jill. This must have been Forrest's. You don't have a weapon. Take this with you.
He says when she clearly has a handgun. I should also note,
I can't believe.
if you get this cutscene on arrange mode, then Forrest will not come back as a zombie, and you can also get the armor key from him. I haven't actually tested the crow spawn here to see whether the crows spawn finitely or whether they spawn infinitely. So, not really sure what to say about that, but whatever. We'll just keep going. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and equip the bazooka and kill every zombie that we can up to the item box and get the bazooka down to 1 round, because we need to equip acid rounds as quickly as possible for the snake boss. I'm picking up every file pretty much in order, so if you want to read the files, then just pause between pages. I got a little bit frazzled because I missed that grenade. I absolutely should not have missed that grenade at that range, but because this is the original US version of the game, there is no auto-aim, so some mess-ups are to be expected. So this is how we are going to set up the inventory. We're going to drop the knife, the first aid spray, and the bazooka in favor of all that handgun ammunition. We need the handgun for zombies and dogs mostly throughout Mansion 1. We won't need it for too much longer though. You'll notice that I came in through the second floor and went all the way this way. This is the fastest way to pick up the chemical. Alternatively, you could also use the plant glitch, I suppose. But I still wanted this run to be as glitchless as possible. And barring a few pause cancels that I used on hunters, excuse me, barring a few pause cancels that I used on hunters to make sure that I didn't get hit by any head chops, I managed to do exactly that. So the only times that you should ever have to really pay attention to zombie mechanics are when you use the handgun and the knife. Zombies will fall after 3 or 4 shots without warning. You can pretty much expect that if a zombie falls on the very same frame that you shoot it, that it's going to have 0 HP and will most certainly be dead, like the zombie right before I pushed the statue down. But this zombie, on the other hand, you could see that before I dropped him the first time, that my shot whiffed, and he just fell down. It's a pretty weird design choice, but you should be aware of it. Because what that means is the zombie is going to get back up. If you whiff the shot, the zombie is always going to get back up. But if you plug the shot and the zombie goes down and there's not a pool of blood around it, it is at 0 HP. Just plug it one more time and it'll die. The game just does that so that the zombies will... Ooh, that was risky. I don't even know what I was doing here. Normally I just stand at the base of the stairs. But he bled out pretty fast. In general, as long as you shoot zombies enough, then they will usually go down to the ground about 75% of the time. We could just go ahead and run around this guy, or you could shoot him. There should be enough ammo. As a matter of fact, there is. I'm actually not even sure why I run past him to begin with, because it's going to take roughly the same amount of time. Just don't even worry about those herbs over there. You could pick them back up and take them to the storage box if you want to. Just be aware that there is one more zombie going back to the storage box. I wouldn't recommend picking them up though, not if you want the rocket launcher. But after we get the armor key, we're going to go back here to pick up some shotgun shells, a handgun clip, and the broken shotgun, which is necessary to disarm the shotgun trap on the other side of the mansion. At this stage in the game, it's pretty safe to assume that the player has no idea what's going on. But popular culture has pretty much spoiled the entire plot of Resident Evil for the most part, so I'm sure you already know what to expect by the time you're watching this video. Regardless. Four shots, he went down, but he didn't bleed. Bit of an anomaly. He still got back up. I think that pretty much contradicts everything I said earlier about if the shot hits the zombie as it goes down. Although he probably started to go down on the same frame. Ah, whatever. Sometimes your shots will whiff. If they whiff, the zombie is almost always going to get back up. Actually, he always is. So here's the next file, the Keeper's Diary. But when you examine it, jump scare. Usually takes around 5 to 7 shots. You're more than likely going to just shoot 5 times and he'll go down if you just stand and fire from that position. It's actually quite fun to note, in the Japanese version of the game, that the Keeper's handwriting actually omits the use of kanji and instead just goes for hiragana and katakana. As he succumbs more and more to the effects of the T-virus infection. Pretty interesting note. But anyway. Now we go ahead and solve the piano puzzle. some amount of effort that is. Hardest puzzle in the game right here, guys. So after we put down the gold emblem, we're going to run back with the blue jewel and get the first crest. We're also going to be fighting a lot of dogs on the way. Obviously, we'll come back through here during the second trip back to the mansion in order to get the Magnum. The Magnum will be necessary against hunters. So now we're done with the entire west half of the mansion. Now we're going to go solve the east half of the mansion. There's also another cutscene resulting from the alternate Barry route that I'm sure a lot of you will not have seen. So, floor zombies. Always make sure that you have a loaded gun, and you will stun lock them 100% of the time. He went down that time, but I think he was just at 0 HP and not really dead. So if he does this to you, be real careful. Just stop as soon as the camera angle changes. He bled out, so he was most certainly dead, which is good. Also, it would have been way faster to just collect the clip whenever you entered that area as opposed to exiting like I did. I just completely missed it. So there's another zombie hiding behind here. And that's what happens if you're a dum-dum like me and you didn't reload your gun. You gotta get your foot grabbed and you gotta kick its head off. Which actually takes off quite a lot of HP in the American version. So, dogs get stun locked with every single shot. I turned to make sure that I was facing the first dog before he popped out, so... I messed that up. I thought I could save a little bit of time by just popping him from a medium distance and waiting for his hit stun to wear off. But you can stun lock dogs if they get pushed into a corner whenever you shoot them and you aim down, as you're about to see here. You'll notice I always rush the dog and I always aim down and shoot it. Although just as easily, if you're fighting 2 dogs at once, then just stand your ground. I shot too early. So you can see that's what happens if you shoot too early with dogs. Once they've started their attack frames, they don't really have a hit window that cancels them out of their attack, or that takes them out of their attack and into hit stun, so they take no damage. Once again, I had to make sure that I was completely loaded up, because the hit stun window often varies, and there wouldn't have been enough time for me to reload my gun, probably, if I had to let the game do it automatically for me. So we're going to have... we should have 7 slots filled up at this point. Then we'll drop the broken shotgun. Now we have an actual shotgun. We don't get to go on any fun little killing sprees in the mansion, but we can use it on a few zombies. As a matter of fact, I opt to save the shotgun for hunters for the most part. Because the shotgun is actually quite good at stun-locking hunters. I'll explain it when we get to that part. I use the handgun on these zombies here to not only save ammo for the shotgun, but also to aggro the crows over here. Once all 3 of them come on screen the first time, just fire, and they'll all go down. If they're not on screen yet, those other crows, then go ahead and aim off screen and just start spamming until they are all dead. There's only 6 crows in this room. And the puzzle should go like so. A picture of a newborn baby, a picture of an infant, a picture of a lively boy, a picture of a young man, a picture of a tired middle-aged man, a picture of a bold-looking old man, if you mess up on the crows anywhere, then you can exit and re-enter the room. The crows you killed will not respawn. I should note that if enemies respawn infinitely, then I just skip over them. As those do not count. There's a pupperino over here. Just do the thing. I'm not even sure what happened there. Because clearly I was aiming towards the dog. I tried aiming down, I tried aiming up. Usually whenever they are getting ready to pounce, you can fire at them with a shoulder level shot, and it'll usually knock them back. But it didn't in that case. I'm not actually sure what happened there. Probably due to the geometry of the room, it affected the hit detection somehow. But I used those first 2 crests there. I decided to go ahead and go to that room right then and there and drop off the crests, as opposed to going to the item box, because that would mean that I would be forced to go to the item box later. And here is a lighter and more handgun rounds. We're still going to be holding on to the handgun throughout the guardhouse as well, to take out the zombies, the sharks, and also dogs. This is alternate cutscene number 2. If you met Barry on the terrace with Forrest's body.
Is that you, Jill?
What's going on? How come you look so scared?
Look at this. What do you think of it?
I've been thinking something is wrong with this house.
Right.
Hey, what is this? There's a page missing.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Perhaps that was the most important part.
Why the fuck you lying? Anyway, we're gonna hit the switch here. And drain the water from the fish tank. Push that one to the right, and then push that shelf. Ostensibly not far enough to the north. And now we got 6 explosive rounds. We're gonna need anywhere between 6 to 12 explosive rounds for Plant 42. So it's good to go ahead and pick those up now. We're gonna go ahead and unlock this door so that we can discard the armor key. Having the free inventory space will actually help out immensely.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Oh no. Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
I've tried to route this every which way. But unfortunately it seems that it is actually nigh impossible to time out Richard and get him to die. At least in the original PlayStation release of Resident Evil 1. It takes about 15 minutes for Richard to die. And apparently you can't do it without just standing there outside the room and waiting for him to die. I decided to just use that shotgun shell there for fun. So here we will take the serum and use the item box for the second time, dropping the shotgun for the bazooka and dropping off the explosive rounds. We need 2 inventory slots free. We need 1 for acid rounds and the other for the Mooncrest. Although we're going to load the acid rounds into the grenade launcher and free up another slot, at which point we will also be able to solve the statue puzzle too on the way out. This inventory configuration also assumes that you do not take damage while fighting Yawn. It took me a while, but I found a very consistent strat for shooting Yawn and getting him to crawl back into his little hidey hole. It takes 4 acid rounds, but it'll take a lot more if you use regular grenade rounds.
Here's the serum! Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
Poor bastard. We're going to use grenade number 6 on this zombie over here, because he's in such close quarters. And will also get puked on in the process. An interesting display of Resident Evil physics. Decapitate a zombie right after he pukes. Get the acid puke all over you. So the acid rounds are in this cupboard over here, but you need the lighter in order to get them. We'll also take this other clip in the process. And now we're going to go fight Yawn. So this is what you have to do. First, stand in place. Wait for him to hiss, then run that way. By that time his tail should have cleared the entryway. At which point, you take the Mooncrest, and then you run over here, and then you just stand right here. And you aim down. Because of the way Yawn's tracking works, in order for him to get his body all the way through, he will never ever bite going through there. Or at least he'll never ever try to track your hitbox directly. Probably because it resulted in a pretty glitchy animation otherwise. I'm not even sure why the developers put that there, to be honest. But I'm sure they did that for a good reason. Maybe Yawn was able to clip out of bounds or something, who knows. Either way, just fire down 4 times once he pops his head through, and then he will go into his hidey hole. At which point you can grab the shotgun shells and escape. Richard also has another handgun clip, which I don't really think you need all that much. At this point in the game, we have like all the handgun bullets we're ever gonna need. But I still like to have handgun bullets for dogs. Even though the last dogs that we are ever going to encounter for the duration of the game are going to be in the courtyard. So you gotta cover the grates there with those statues. And ostensibly the pressure of the poison gas causes that thing to open up. It's like completing a circuit, only with statues and poison gas. Kind of weird that way. And that's pretty much the end of the entire mansion. At least until we go through on the return trip. Once Wesker releases hunters. It doesn't really say for sure that he did, but I kind of connected the dots and assumed that Wesker released the hunters in order to gather combat data, because if you look at the chain of events, Wesker sends you back to the mansion to either hide or investigate other rooms. Hunters repopulate the mansion, and there is a file explaining some orders that were given to somebody, very obviously Wesker, to collect combat data and also collect embryos from the BOWs. That's just my theory on it, but either way, push the stairs and pick up the crank. There's some dogs here. I kind of went a little second nature. Thought I was speedrunning the game for a second. As I generally do whenever I do a run like this. After you kill the second dog, then you can use the radio.
This is Brad. Stars Alpha Team. Please respond. What the hell? Is nobody out there?
Brad, this is Jill.
This is Brad. Stars Alpha Team. Bravo Team. It doesn't matter. Anybody, answer me. This is
Brad? Brad!
The radio is actually supposed to beep after you kill the dogs, but I decided to just reload and use the radio in one fell swoop. Just to cut down on the overall recording time. The snakes here respawn infinitely. Just don't even bother. And there's two more dogs here. They both have random spawning positions, but there are always going to be two dogs. I wouldn't actually recommend using this position that I am standing in, because it's kind of difficult to see them. But just wait for the row noise, and then you can shoot them and stun them. Just like that. Actually, the growling noise is probably the earliest frame window, actually. It definitely is. If you push this statue over the hole coming up here, then you can avoid getting snared by the Plant 42 tentacle. This is a kill-all run and not a no-damage run, but I still did it anyway this way so that I wouldn't get sloppily grabbed by the tentacle. Acid rounds generally kill zombies in one shot. Zombies can sometimes tank flame rounds. Dude, did I just completely avoid those shotgun shells in the drawer there? I guess I did, huh? Wow. I totally did avoid them. I should let you know right now that there are shotgun shells in that desk there by the bed. I don't even know why I skipped over those. That is pretty sloppy. Pretty sloppy work. Coming in here to grab the first aid spray and the grenade rounds. What I would recommend is trading out the clip for the shotgun. Keep the handgun, specifically for sharks. Then drop the crank and the lighter. We no longer need the lighter. We're going to need the crank way later, but we still want to have as much space as we can muster for ammo. But yeah, in the other room there we pick up the red book and the control room key. The red book is needed to get into the fight with Plant 42. The control room key is needed to get into the room to drain the water. There's quite a bit of a frame window that you can get away with after the spider drops down. The little baby spiders that spawn, I wouldn't worry about exiting and re-entering to despawn them. It just seems really superfluous to kill all the baby spiders. But exiting and re-entering also puts the second spider back on the ceiling. I pause cancel for these spiders because if I do not, then the spiders just gain that much more of a frame advantage. Because after they get hit, they immediately skitter off to the side and spit acid before you even have a chance to recover and fire another shot. There are a bunch of winged, stinging insects. The species of which I dare not say. They spawn infinitely.
It can't be true. I've been told a different story. But it's not necessary for you to destroy stars. What about my family? So everything depends on me, huh?
I should actually try to find an unaltered version of the audio, because you can actually hear Wesker talking, but the music kind of drowns it out.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Barry. I heard someone talking.
So you heard it too. I think I'm getting old. It seems that talking to myself is becoming a habit.
Talking to yourself? Barry, something must have happened to you. Am I wrong? You sound strange.
Well, it seems I made you worry, but don't. Maybe I have been a nervous wreck since all of these strange things started happening. Well, I think I'll go out and get some fresh air for a change.
Oh my god! Stop fucking lying!
I told you, don't worry. I'll just go and get some fresh air and be eaten by a monster.
There's another box of shotgun shells. In those drawers over there. And here's the Plant 42 report. But of course, typical Umbrella. Just giving no fucks about the fact that there is a giant man-eating plant that they just keep alive in favor of doing more research. That giant man-eating plant that they cannot move. It's sure to make them a lot of money. I should also note that that is also the last appearance of Barry under this particular chain of cutscenes. What that means is that Barry will not rescue you from Plant 42. Also, if you have an inventory space free here, and I'm going to assume you do, because you actually did need 3 inventory slots free by the time you exited the save room, then go ahead and pick up a green herb here and use it while you're unlocking the door here. So, Plant 42 is a plant infected by the T-virus. And there's an aquarium here under the guardhouse. Or rather, as it were, a type of laboratory for the scientists here to experiment with the effects of the T-virus on aquatic animals. Really just sharks. Wherever the fuck they got sharks from. So now we're going to grab the 003 key. Then there's 2 more boxes of shotgun shells. You should actually have 56 shotgun shells at this point. I didn't, because I was a dummy, and I didn't grab the other box of shotgun shells. Doesn't matter too much though. We're just gonna take out all our frustration on these sharks. It's actually the one reason I still have the Beretta at this point in the game. You actually will not be needing the Beretta anymore after this. So I collected a lot of handgun clips, a lot of handgun ammo in excess. The reason I did so though was because the handgun is actually pretty okay at stun locking chimeras later on in the game. There's a zombie hiding in this bathroom over here. Also another handgun clip, but like I said, handgun clips, this point in the game, really useless. Besides that, we still need 3 inventory slots in order to be able to mix the V-Jolt. There are 4 bottles you can grab, but you actually only need 3 slots. I almost exited this room without remembering to go ahead and use the red book here to free up a 3rd inventory slot for mixing V-Jolt. I went on vacation to PAX East for a few days, and I almost messed that up. I think the solution for this is randomized. Three, 4, 5 sometimes works, but other times the solution is something completely different. I'm not actually sure how it works, but whatever. It's a simple puzzle of lights out. Whichever button you press is going to affect all of the ones adjacent to it. The same puzzle shows itself in Resident Evil 3 later. So we'll pick up the empty bottle, and then we'll get the UMB number 2. Then we'll grab another empty bottle, this time getting the UMB number 4. Then we pick up another empty bottle, and then we get water. The whole goal is to mix up the number 16 in a very specific order with water, UMB number 2, and UMB number 4. So combine 1 with 2 to make 3, and 3 with 4 to make 7. Then grab another serving of 2 and another serving of 4, so that we can mix those 2 in order to make 6. Then mix yellow 6 with the UMB number 7 in order to get 13. Then we mix 1, which is water, and 2 one more time to mix another 3, which we then combine with the 13 to get the V-Jolt. If you're confused about any of this, all of the solutions are written on the walls in that room. Don't mix it in the wrong order, otherwise a gas will come out and you will get poisoned. So now we're going to go this way. There's another room over here. I checked the map really quickly to see if there were any rooms that I did not visit, and consequentially any enemies that I did not kill. And there was one. Now we're back at 7 inventory slots. In the one room we have not visited yet, leading up to the boss, there's another zombie and a case of flame rounds. Flame rounds are good against insects, Plant 42, and they are also pretty okay against hunters to some degree. Flame rounds don't knock over hunters, but they probably kill hunters faster than acid rounds or explosive rounds, specifically because they do not do hit stun nearly as well as the other rounds do. The grenade rounds and the acid rounds just knock hunters right over. So I pretty much save the flame rounds in this room for hunters. So after this, we want to reload the grenade launcher with the explosive rounds. Aim slightly to the right. In the director's cut version, it will take 3 rounds, but it's going to take 6 rounds in the original US version. The original US version is actually obnoxiously hard in comparison. Normally, turning at that angle and aiming up would kill Plant 42 in 3 rounds in the Japanese version and the American Director's Cut version.
Wesker!
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
I met Barry too a while ago. I think there's something wrong with him.
Yes, I agree with you. Sure was strange, wasn't he? He looks so tired.
Well, maybe it's quite natural under these circumstances. Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
So there's our prompt to return back to the mansion with the helmet key. You don't really need to squash these guys because they're already dead, but still felt like doing it anyway. Because it's so fun to just watch them explode. These oversized bees.
This is Brad. I know you can't answer me, but somehow, give me a sign.
This is Jill. Brad? Oh, it's broken.
So your inventory should be full at this point. We're about to go visit the safe room on the first floor of the east side of the mansion again, but not before engaging into battle with a couple of hunters. That's what the last 2 explosive rounds are for. In general, when fighting hunters, because they have so many invincibility frames in Resident Evil 1, the best thing to do is to fire off grenades only when they are unaware, or only in situations in which they are not going to jump at you, because raising your weapon while a hunter is in front of you will almost always make the hunter jump. He will do a jump attack. Now the shotgun also has a wide range of active damage frames, so you can actually stun lock hunters during the late phase of their getting up animation after they've been knocked down. But you have to make sure you're like reasonably close. You don't really have very many frames, it's kind of a tight window. But anyway, second hunter, wait for him to come around the corner, pop him once, equip the shotgun, predictive aiming, there he is again. This is the part of the game where things get really hard. So right about here, we no longer need the handgun, and we're going to get rid of those 2 useless empty bottles. And we're going to pick up everything in this room. And I mean everything. I decided to drop the first aid spray in here because we're actually going to have a lot of opportunities to pick up herbs. I wanted to save my first aid sprays for the laboratory because in the laboratory, chimeras have even more invincibility frames than hunters. Although they can be taken out in 1 flame round, they're still very difficult to deal with and set up for a kill. And also because the Super Tyrant is actually quite unpredictable in the final boss fight. He takes a lot of rounds before Brad drops the rocket launcher, so we just wait for Brad to drop the rocket launcher in that fight. That's about all you can do. This is one of the rare situations in which an acid round manages to kill a hunter in one shot in the US version. So that kind of worked. But that's an example. That's an example of how pause canceling works. Pause canceling returns you to your neutral stance after firing a shot. It exploits the inventory, but you can also see after you hear the shot from the shotgun, that's when the active damage frames start, and they last for quite a long time. So during it's about like a 1 second window or so, the shotgun will continuously do damage during that time. I don't know, the shotgun's damage could be based on active damage frames and really not on spread or anything like that. Not on spread or range or anything like that. But I'm not 100% sure. Either way, after the third shot, aim to the right a little bit.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Yes, but I can't see very well.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
Just wait for Barry here. In order for Barry to live towards the end of the game, basically Jill needs to show Barry that she trusts him. And that means waiting here. So you can go ahead and hit the switch on the tombstone. Right about here I had a bit of an epiphany for an alternate route.
Hey! Are you there, Jill? Grab the rope!
So I just kind of went with the flow and forgot about a part where you had to unlock the door in the basement in order to kill more zombies. But we'll come back here later, it's okay.
I'm sorry, Jill.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Sorry. I was really careless.
Are you okay, Barry? Maybe you're getting tired.
No, I'm all right. Don't worry. Jill, I found something.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
That's one of two files that's completely unique to Jill's scenario. Technically, you can't really get all files when going for the good ending, because Barry needs to die in order for you to get his family photo. But I wouldn't worry so much about that. So here's an example of fighting the hunter with the shotgun. You can actually pass under the shotgun, or pass under the hunter jumping if you pause cancel after he jumps, but it's a very tight window, like that. This hunter's kind of being a dick. That should have stun locked him, but as you can see, it wasn't quite working. I got lucky he didn't jump there. That was really close, by the way. That last attack there that you just saw, that's the hunter's decapitation attack. It happens when the hunter attacks you anytime around the 75% HP range. So yeah, you need to be really, really, really careful if you're at anything below green fine. Fortunately, the developers made it so that you can tech out of that attack. Stand in this position and fire a shotgun shell. Those crows will all hit a kill plane, and they will all die. Probably because the developers were too lazy to put a layer mask there, they just decided to make it a kill plane. And the crows just all explode, which is nice. So, this is a very advantageous spot to gun down the hunters from long range with the shotgun, so just go for it. Don't use flame rounds here because those hunters are going to be completely aware. The second hunter will roll to the left and pretty much negate any and all chances he has to make a jumping attack towards you. So that's a really good position to be firing from. Hunters always roll to their left whenever they get knocked down. And of course this guy, what a dumbass. He keeps trying to attack me through the wall. So, I just like stood there and just kept shooting him. What I would recommend here is waiting until later to go into this room, because you'll need some inventory slots free. But we'll go ahead and grab these shotgun shells here so that we can go into the basement and return that way. Those are Wesker's orders. Wesker obviously has an extra helmet key, so he was probably just chilling out here. It's most likely exactly where he was hiding so that he could go over the rest of the area and start tearing up more evidence. I decided to go ahead and get bit by that zombie and kick his head off, because he takes simply too many shotgun shells otherwise. You could shoot him if you want, but it's not necessary. Just go ahead and kick his head off. It's fine. Here's 2 more explosive rounds. We're pretty much going to exclusively use those explosive rounds for more hunters. Also, the magnum rounds that we just picked up are also probably going to go towards hunters for the most part, but we're going to try and save as much ammo as we can for the final tyrant fight. So we're going to spend our explosive rounds first. Explosive rounds on hunters, flame rounds on chimeras. and only use the Cult Python whenever we do get it. Whenever we run out of explosive rounds, but there's not very many more hunters in the rest of the game. There's more Magnum rounds in the desk here, and there's also a hidden door here. There's another handgun clip, but interestingly enough, there's a helicopter port. Now, why would there be a helicopter port in this mansion? Apparently there's been some weird experimentation going on here. It's a little ambiguous. The scrapbook actually has a hint for dealing with the dogs. If you find that the dogs take too much ammo, which at this point of the game, yeah, no, they don't really. You could actually walk around the dogs and they won't aggro. Fun fact. I go ahead and load up the flame rounds. I wanted to try to save those for the chimeras later, but that's not really a reality that we can make happen. So instead I just decide to use the flame rounds on more hunters. We're about to get 2 more boxes of flame rounds for the rest of the game anyway, so. There's not very many acid rounds in the game either. Just 3 cases. You only get the 3rd if you get the Barry cutscene in the main hall, which only happens with Event Route A for Barry. So now we've cleared out all the enemies on the 2nd floor, and we're going to take the elevator down to the 1st floor. We'll go ahead and stomp this guy. I wanted to try to go through this door and kill all the other zombies here, but then I realized I made a mistake. Because I generally never take this route. So we kind of have to backtrack and kill those zombies, but that's okay. Give no fucks to this guy. Just decapitate him. Once again, the shotgun is pure active damage frames for about a second. So you could be a little far away, and if the zombie walks in to the shotgun's hitbox, as it were, because it draws a rather large rectangle for a foreseeable distance. You can decapitate them quite easily, but the flame rounds, yeah, just go ahead and spam flame rounds off screen until those hunters die. Kind of messed up there. It's funny how the hunter's arms are destructible. I got kind of lucky there. Interestingly enough, because that hunter is under the stairs, there's a collision box that prevents the hunter from rolling to his left as he usually does. Gonna go ahead and get rid of that inventory space there by reloading the explosive rounds. And now we're going to go up. Of course, stupid me, I forgot that the position of the stairs resets whenever you exit and re-enter the room. But interestingly enough, the light doesn't turn back on. Now we have the red jewel, and we're going to use that to get the Colt Python. Not too much else here to mention for a minute. So, there it is, the most powerful regular weapon in the game. In the Japanese version, it kills hunters in one shot, and I believe it also does the same in the director's cut, but I can't be too certain. Because this is the American version, let's assume that under no circumstances do hunters die in one shot, except for a lucky acid round crit. Wait a minute, that's a lie. I forgot. This hunter over here is actually going to die in one shot to the Colt Python. I think it depends on the hunter, really, because a lot of enemies in this game actually do have slightly random HP, at least as far as I can tell. Deliberating. Yeah, Colt Python. I expected that I could actually hit the hunter with the Colt Python just standing in the doorway, because at that distance I did not think that the hunter was going to leap. I think they put that hunter there just in case the player thought they could try to change their costume in New Game Plus mode. It's just silly. Just silly. Anyways, so there's more spiders. That grenade round killed that hunter, that spider in one shot. If you go here, by the way, then you're actually, interestingly enough, you're in a safe spot from the spiders, so they can't really hit you. So just like stand right there and wait until the spider comes in range and just blow it away. Once again, deliberating, but we have to go out this door because there's more zombies here. They probably put these zombies here to prevent you from backtracking towards any more health items. This is a pretty easy room to repopulate with enemies. Good call on their part, actually, because I kind of did need more health at this point. I thought about picking up that green herb, but in Resident Evil 1, you can't just use green herbs whenever you want. You have to be at below full health in order to use them, which is kind of dumb. quite glad that Hunter decided to cooperate with me instead of jumping at me. Although at that range it would have been very easy to pause cancel and run under him. But now we've cleared out the second trip to the mansion of all enemy encounters. Wait, that's a lie. I had to go back upstairs. I forgot about these zombies in the basement. I should have just waited for Barry to give me the passcode, then went downstairs and then just backtracked. I decided to go the route that I did because I thought it would be way fewer doors. And it actually kind of paid off a little bit because, according to my splits, I wound up saving 5 minutes. Now you may ask yourself, Carcy, what are you talking about? This isn't a speedrun. I kind of routed it like a speedrun because my goal was to get the infinite rocket launcher this run as well, on top of showing off the cutscenes and reading all the files. Just to create a sort of quote-unquote perfect run, I guess. Perfect playthrough. There's more shotgun shells over here that are almost exclusively going to be used on zombies toward the end of the game. Then there's the sight, the rather unpleasant sight of 2 zombies feasting on a third. Not even sure why I did this. Oh wow, I guess I wasn't at full health after all. That other door at the end of that hall is the door that you would unlock to get to the kitchen, which of course I did not unlock. This only takes you maybe a couple of doors out of the way. Now all the monsters in the mansion are kill. I found it kind of funny that the spawn point for the snake is that fireplace over there. There's just a giant hole in that fireplace. Wasn't entirely sure what the point of that was. Regardless, we're done here. So, we're gonna go into the save room. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop off the shotgun and shells to clear open some inventory space for more ammo. And we're going to swap out the Mo disc for the crank. I said we're going to swap out the Mo disc for the crank. There we go. Attaboy, Carcy. And while we're going to put the battery in, there's one more hunter on the way out. You need to be ready for him because he will most certainly leap at you. But before we exit, we have to get one more key item. And some magnum rounds. There's roughly 30 magnum rounds throughout the entire game. I made sure to pick up all of them. At least for Jill. This hunter's a jerk. Really, these camera angles are jerks. So there's really not much to talk about here. Just go put the battery in. I'm a little bit on the cold side, so I'm going to go grab a jacket and take a short break. I will be back shortly. So now we've gained access to the basement of the courtyard. And if you've done everything correct, then Barry will show up down here as well.
Oh, Jill, what good timing. A moment ago I heard someone's voice coming from this hole. Let's go together since it's dark and we can't see very well.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, then I'm gonna cover you. Let's hurry. Hey, are you all right? I can go first if you want me to.
Oh, yes, please. I'm a little nervous.
I understand. It may be more dangerous if you come behind me. Be careful.
The first option is the only one that matters. The second one actually does not.
Barry?
But you actually get a longer cutscene if you do this. I didn't catch that. Did he aim up?
That was too close. Let's go together.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, then I'm gonna cover you. Let's hurry.
Pretty weird reverb effects. Thought I heard like similar reverb effects in maybe Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Which I should note, Richter Belmont and Chris Redfield are actually both voiced by the same guy. Fun fact. But yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. Did Barry aim up while that hunter was jump attacking? If so, then that means, hey, maybe there's a way to tech hunters out of the air that I was completely unaware of. I just never caught it until now.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there! Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh, yes!
Enrico!
So, Barry and Jill together.
Are you all right, Enrico?
The stars are doomed. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella. Ha!
Enrico!
So after the traitor runs away, we're going to pick up this crank, and this downstairs area is going to repopulate with hunters. 2 of them, to be exact. Pop once. Wait for him to get towards grenade launcher range. I think it might actually be range. It might actually be range that triggers whether they will jump or not. But I'm not entirely too certain, actually. Regardless, there's one hunter here. We're going to turn right, and we're going to hug that wall, and wait for him to come around the corner. Died in one shot. Never assume he's going to die in one shot. So go through this door and re-enter this way. And then 2 hunters will populate this area now. I equipped the grenade launcher there so that I could deplete my grenades to 0. I should have mentioned this way earlier, but you need to deplete your grenades to 0 before you can load up ammo of a new type into the bazooka. Also, you'll notice I interchangeably call it the grenade launcher or the bazooka. Technically it is a grenade launcher, but the English release calls it the bazooka. It's grenade launcher in the Japanese release though. I do kind of wish that they would have kept the name Bazooka throughout the other games in the series. So, you run 2 steps after the camera change here, and then when the camera starts to change again, then the rock will start to roll, and you can see some flame rounds behind there. Depending on whether you go for the flame rounds first or later will dictate whether the hunter spawns here or closer to the Black Tiger door. Jerk. Every time, man, every time. Either way, equip the flame rounds here. It'll take 2 rounds. Wow, that was really weird. I don't think I was in caution before. As a matter of fact, I definitely was not. I paused, canceled, like pretty much exactly when that first acid spit hit me, and then I was in caution all of a sudden. Then I unpaused, and then paused again, and I was in danger. But I unpaused because I didn't see any hit stun animation, and then repaused again to check my HP a second time. So that seems to be a negative effect of pause canceling. I learned quite a lot while doing a kill-all run. People would often pester me to do kill-all runs in the past, and I'm like, but how is that different from a casual run? And then I realized that there are actually a lot of enemy mechanics that I could still learn. More often than not, the speedrun strats are actually surprisingly safe for beating the game. But playing the US version, which has no auto-aim, and enemy HP roughly 1.25 times of the Japanese version, I was kind of proven wrong. This is actually pretty fun. So to quickly solve this puzzle, on the 5th push, only push it a little bit. That hexagonal hole is really tough to line up with, so I just kept mashing X until the dialog box appeared. Then I go into the inventory and use the crank. You have to be almost pixel perfect in order to use that blindly, and I didn't feel like doing that, so... That's done with. Now we have both the Doom books. Then we're going to pick up the Mo disc. As long as you had 2 inventory slots free by the time you got out of the giant spider fight, then you'll be able to pick all these up in one fell swoop. It doesn't really matter because there are no enemies between that save room and the next item box regardless. I think they just put that there because there was no item box before the giant spider. And so there's the elevator to the final area of the game. You need a rather specific inventory setup. You need to have all 3 Mo discs, keep 1 slot free, and then basically keep all of the rest of your inventory slots dedicated towards guns of varying shapes and sizes. So what I did here was I swapped out that first aid spray and the crank for the shotgun and the shells. Then I put the Mo disc in my inventory. The third Mo disc is in the lab. But of course I wouldn't have had another slot free by the time I picked up the other Mo disc. So I just decided to drop the Magnum rounds in the box, because we won't really be using the Magnum until the final boss fight anyway. Or the penultimate boss fight, I should say. Flame rounds are going to be exclusively used against chimeras. There's no more hunters, there's no more of any other type of enemy in the game. There's just zombies and chimeras, which die in one flame round. Moving in a circle, killing all the zombies in the way. These zombies do not respawn infinitely, I should mention. They only respawn 3 times. Just putting them all out of their misery. These slides might contain something important. I don't know what, but they might. I decided to double check here to make sure that I had every file thus far, because I've made mistakes previously. There's actually not that many files in Resident Evil 1. If you want to skip the splash screen turning on the computer here, just hold square and start. Don't get too hasty. Otherwise you might see Jill get mad. So the login is John, and the password is Ada. It is very much a connection to Resident Evil 2, by the way. Then the second password here is Mole. Which unlocks the B2 level door. Then you can unlock B3 as well. But we're not visiting that wing just yet. We're gonna go up to B2, grab the power room key and the other Mo disc, and then we're going to clear the power station, the Chimera room. Of course, that zombie also whiffed my shotgun shell. There's a really nasty bug in this game where if a zombie cancels your attack animation before your active damage frames start up, then you lose ammo. So like, you can see the muzzle flash, but you don't hear the sound. And if a zombie grabs you during that phase, then you use the ammo, but your active damage frames never started up either. So the shot just misses. It's pretty silly that the guns work that way in this game. Every single gun does. So you have to really be aware of where you can and cannot shoot the enemy. So those security orders pretty much describe all of the puzzles that are throughout the laboratory. But wait, A. Wesker. No way. They can't be serious. So this whole laboratory was specifically for the development of these bioorganic weapons. For what purpose? I don't know, it's still too early to say. But there he is. Captain Albert Goddamn Wesker. Did a little bit of a double take to make sure that I had the Mo disc. So now we're going to go use all of the Mo discs. But not before wasting all of these zombies here. Right about now is also a good time to pick up the Colt Python, maybe. But it's probably not necessary for the time being. But I guess we'll kind of make it necessary. Wanted to do a quick HP check. I do come back here later to pick up that green herb and the other red herb in the puzzle room nearby. The box puzzle room. So, we pick up the Colt Python and the Magnum rounds. This is going to be the last time that we visit the item box throughout the rest of the game. So, chimeras. Chimeras are a bit of a toughie to actually line up a good shot, because due to the arcing nature of the grenade rounds, we have to be able to fire at them from a distance. And of course I completely whiffed that shot. As long as you're not directly under the Chimera, you should not take damage. So you can actually back up and not take damage from them at all. Of course I'm trying to get this guy to just drop to the floor and try to follow me that way. And there he goes. When they do that, just aim down at them and fire. If he eats your flame round, then equip the shotgun and finish him off. Sometimes chimeras can block your shots. And when he blocks your shot like that, that means he is either going to stay on the ground for a little while longer or jump up. Fortunately, while you're equipping the shotgun, you should be able to identify whether he's going to stay on the ground or jump up to the ceiling. If he jumps up to the ceiling, then you can just tap him once on the ceiling and he'll be dead. Basically, that guarding animation just keeps the chimeras from dying immediately. So there's passcode 03. which is a verse from Genesis, but it's a little pointless and out of context here. So we could go fight the final boss, but oh, wait a minute. I killed chimeras 2 seconds ago. Another one just spawned. I was so close to dying here, it wasn't even funny. I was like, no! Then he plops down, and just like as he's about to attack, he jumps up to the ceiling again. But fortunately I had his number at this point, because I already practiced killing these guys with the handgun a whole bunch in previous attempts. You may recall me saying that the handgun is pretty good for doing damage against these guys, because it does inflict hit stun every time, and one handgun shot will almost always knock them off. Well, just one hit from any weapon really will knock them off from the ceiling. So that other chimera that respawned is actually a random respawn. I'm not actually sure why there's a blue herb here, because as far as I remember, no enemies in this stage of the game do cause any poison. Kind of thinking about getting the Beretta here, but I opt against it because I don't really need it so much. I guess I'm a little worried later on in the run, because I just learned that that chimera respawns randomly whenever you enter or exit that room. There's no set number of spawns for that chimera, so you kind of have to be ready for it to spawn, because it happens both before and after you kill the tyrant. And it's completely random, so I don't count that towards the stipulations because I don't know the exact mechanics. And of course I completely mess up the puzzle here. Wait, do I though? Oh, no I don't. I only messed it up in a previous attempt, which I for some reason thought it was this attempt, but I guess not. Word. Anyway. You gotta push those boxes over those vents so that you can push the stairs. If you do it any other way, then poison will flood the room. Which, by the way, will cause damage at this point. But it will also kill you really, really fast in the American version. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of those Bible verses was. Blah blah blah, something about obeying will make your children prosperous or something like that, but I don't see what. It's just kind of there. I don't know. But I think those Bible verses were removed from the Nintendo GameCube release. So there's the letter from John. There's another handgun ammo clip in one of the crates in John's room, if you really think you need it, but I highly doubt it at this point. There's 4 more zombies in here, so we'll use the rest of our shotgun shells and eliminate them all. That zombie wanted none. So essentially, sending in the stars was really Umbrella's last-ditch attempt to collect any remaining data on their bioorganic weapons program, and also to cover up evidence. It was assumed to be easier to send in one man to infiltrate the laboratory and accomplish those tasks if you basically sent in the stars as human meat shields / test subjects.
Jill? Is that you, Jill?
Oh, Chris, you're alive!
Of course. Damn it, we're in quite a predicament, Jill.
I know, Chris. Anyway, I have to open this room. It doesn't work. Well, Chris, I'll be sure to come back and help you soon. Will you wait here?
Thanks. I'll be waiting here for you.
So if you do all that, you get to see Chris before the final fight, but that door is not going to unlock unless it's a Class A emergency, which means that the self-destruct system needs to be triggered. So we're going to go straight to the final boss. There's another 5 minutes worth of cutscenes here, but we're going to equip the Magnum.
Jill! Jill! You're here too!
Yes, you're here too?
Look, I lost my way.
Let's get going. Wesker?
You did a fine job, Barry.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mention mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
Barry's such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So, you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the tyrant.
Oh! Barry!
Sorry, Jill.
How is your family?
I was listening to what you and Wesker were talking about. I wish I realized it earlier. I thought it must have something to do with Umbrella, you know. So it's all been masterminded by him.
But it's good that you know that now. Anyway, let's get out of this house first.
Jill!
Yes, what?
Do you have any idea what Wesker was going to show you at the back of this place?
Well, he was talking about the world's most powerful biological weapon, called Tyrant or something, I think.
Do you think we could see Tyrant now?
Barry, you're so optimistic.
It would look bad for Stars if we let such a dangerous creature run loose.
Maybe you're right. Let's go then. Can a creature like this really be the ultimate biological weapon?
Really? Wesker is a crazy man.
Tyrant is not completely developed.
But we can't let it live. That must be the computer for monitoring this creature. Damn you!
It can't control what it does.
So, unfortunately, the speedrun strat doesn't quite work in the original US version of the game, because enemies most certainly take more damage in this version, so instead, just run away, turn, shoot, and run away.
Barry? Barry? You're alive!
I'm really embarrassed. I was clumsy.
Let's get going.
It'll take 6 magnum shots to take down the tyrant, or 6... no, more than 6 explosive rounds, actually.
What happened to Wesker?
Just use the Colt Python.
Wesker must have set it off. There's not much time left for us.
So before we go to rescue Chris, there's a few more enemies that we have to kill. So you may be wondering, why did the self-destruct system activate? Neither Jill nor Barry turned it on. This guy kind of took me by surprise. Random spawn once again. And there's your answer. Just as Wesker turns on the self-destruct system, he gets wiped out by a chimera. And of course, double checking, triple checking one more time to make sure I got all the files. And I did. The reason I kept double checking and triple checking was because even though I had it all completely routed, oh god, there's another chimera. These guys are such jerks. Of course, the attack just left that one wide open, so... just went for it, and he was dead. I'm not actually sure whether another one spawns, but... I'm not gonna worry about it, to be honest. There's 2 more chimeras over here, the last 2 in the entire game. I just had to see exactly how much damage that did. Of course, that chimera took like 1,000,000 bullets to kill. Case in point, 3 magnum shots for that one. I kinda still wish I had my flame rounds. But either way, no more enemies to deal with, except for a few more zombies and the final boss. So now we'll go rescue Chris.
Oh, Jill!
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
So everything is done?
Well, almost, yes. Now let's go.
So
Let's go.
there's a few more zombies up on the upper level, and after that is the final boss fight. Just go ahead and use 3 Colt Python rounds to take care of them. Then go directly to the heliport.
Let's go.
All of those first aid sprays that we stocked up should go into our inventory now.
Hurry!
It may or may not have been necessary to stock all of them, but because Tyrant is super unpredictable.
This is Brad. Running out of fuel. If there is anyone alive, contact me now, okay? This is
Of course, this goes to show me that I had too many items in my inventory. The reason they make you pick up a battery here is to force you to have an inventory slot free for the final boss fight.
There is 3 minutes until explosion.
Oh no! You must be kidding! After we've come all the way here!
Ladies first. Go first, Jill.
But Chris!
Give me a chance to play nice guy.
Okay, I leave it up to you. See you again at the heliport.
So we're going to move over here, equip the Colt Python. Geez, what am I doing? I did collect all the files. Just stop it already? Okay. So this puts us at the perfect position to go ahead and open fire on the Tyrant whenever he pops out of the ground. Remember that the Tyrant always swipes with his left claw, so that means that you should always run towards your character's left when dodging around him. I kept the pistol on me because obviously 7 Magnum rounds weren't enough. It's so funny that the Tyrant just like bashes you across the helipad though.
It's coming! Jill! Kill that monster! You're our Amazon, Jill!
So once Brad drops the rocket launcher, that's it. That's the end of the game. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CarcinogenSDA. My next project is either going to be Jill knife only, or Jill arrange mode no damage, so we'll see what I do first. But that's pretty much it. Getting the best ending unlocks the secret key, which gives you the alternate costumes. And beating the game in under 2.5 hours gives you the rocket launcher. Typical Barry. Let's just make sure our gun is clean. But that's it then. Thank you guys for watching and see you next video.